misunderstanding, and
okay.
I know that it's the correct interpretation
But
of what you have said.
Yeah, I'm
when it
proposing
comes
that
to, yes,
you
because
allow,
for wherever you want to source those expenditures from, they are not supposed to be sourced from those lines, those budget lines. That's the essence.
yes,
and that's the fact.
Yeah, I'll endeavor to make sure we have a written presentation.
Yes. Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Mr. Batchily?
Yes, Council.
At some point, you procured 60 bins on wheels.
Yes.
Amounting to $600,000 from Denver Trading. Do you recall this?
Yes.
Now, were they delivered?
I saw the delivery of about 17.
Yes, 17 were delivered, but you paid for 60.
Yeah, 17 to 16.
So why would you pay for 60 if 17 were delivered?
No, we paid for 60.
You paid for
60?
Yeah, so why is 17 delivered?
So according to what I saw when they were delivered, I think that's the number that I verified, 17.
That is the
number I verified as
17.
being supplied, yes.
Yes, but 60 was paid for, correct?
Yes.
Now, what happened to the remaining wheelie bins?
Should have been provided by the contractor.
So, was it provided by the contractor?
That's the query now. That it seems only the 17 came.
That is the?
That was the query. That is only 17 that were ascertained.
Yes, yes.
And the rest, were not ascertained.
Exactly. So how do we get the outstanding funds?
From the contractor.
So why did you accept 17 instead of 60?
Well, maybe I was of the belief that the rest would have subsequently been made available.
The rest will be
subsequently made available.
Available.
Yes.
So these are the waste bins.
They are the waste bins, but then they I have a photo. But then these ones were made to accommodate the bins.
Yes.
That was the specification.
Right. Was this tendered?
No, it wasn't tendered.
Why was that?
It wasn't tendered.
Why was that?
The deputy, anyway, it wasn't tendered. I don't think I need to go to all those things.
Okay, but why was it not tendered? Is there any reason?
They are not tendered, late councillor. I think that's really what I could say.
But do you know why it was not tendered? That's the question.
Because what I understand was that, the deputy mayor was the one who initiated these bins.
The deputy mayor?
Yeah, with is it Denver's is it Denver Charms? Yeah, the company.
Denver's Trading?
Yes.
Who is Denver's Trading?
Denver's Trading is a contractor in metalworks.
In metalworks?
Metalworks.
So he does not trade in this type of goods?
No, metal. I say metalworks.
Metal?
Yeah, he does metalworks.
Is he a regular supplier of wheelie bins? You don't know?
No, I don't know.
And so is it because the deputy mayor influenced the contract to Denver's Trading?
Yes, I would certainly say that.
Do they know each other?
Do they
have a relationship?
I would not really know.
Yeah, but at least he influenced the contract.
Yes.
It is also a requirement that there should not be a conflict of interest.
Yes.
So why did you allow it? Is there any reason?
Well, we have brought the documentation, I think, even when he started doing the work.
You have what?
The documentation for the payments.
Yes.
Because it did not go through the process.
Yes.
So we just had this payment invoices.
Yeah, but my point is, why did you approve it?
I approved it because by the end of the day he started doing it.
But it's not correct.
Yeah, it's not correct, I agree.
But what is the reason? We want to understand the reason, Mr. Batchily, because among the recommendations we would expect the commissioners to consider is to make sure that some of these things do not repeat itself after the the report from the commissioners. How do we stop this? Because if the CEO knew that this is an irregular transaction, knew that it has flouted all the rules, knew fully well it is not really, it's suspicious, because if the deputy mayor just brings someone, then you have all reason to believe that he may be benefiting from it. Correct?
Yes.
And so now the important question now is, why did the chief executive officer still approve the payments, knowing fully well that it is unlawful?
Yeah, having known still it was unlawful, but what I'm trying to explain here is the payments,
right.
the request for the payments,
right,
came when nearly, he started doing the bins.
Yes, but it still did not make it lawful.
I agree.
So now, why would you pay when there is no procedure for it? That's the question. Why were you in the position to pay? Compelled to pay, knowing fully well no procedure was adhered to?
Yes, that's
Were
why.
you pressurized?
Pressurized in the sense that he's already started doing the bins.
Let him pay for it.
And then the request came from our own deputy mayor.
No, let him pay for it.
That's the reason that.
Why can't he pay for it?
He could have, but maybe he wouldn't have been in a position to pay for that.
You were not in a position to pay because he is not the CEO, he's not the contracts committee, he's not the procurement, and so therefore he can't do procurement on behalf of council. And if he goes out on contracts any supplier for anything, let him just pay it.
Yeah,
that's not your concern?
That should have been the case.
So why was it your concern then?
It shouldn't have been my concern.
Yeah, so now why did you make it your concern?
It became my concern because the deputy mayor was involved.
And so you felt you had no choice?
Yeah, than to pay.
Was the mayor aware of this?
I think she became aware of it after some time. I think during the time that, like they approached me for the payments.
For the payments?
I should.
What did she say?
I cannot remember.
She approved the payments?
No, she did not go to that extent. She just made me to understand that it was to her knowledge that these wheelie bins were made.
It was what?
To her, it came to her attention.
Yes.
That the wheelie bins were being made.
Right.
And, subsequently, like I explained, so I had to pay.
Mr. Batchily, there are things that I would not understand, definitely, but we just move on. So now, we will want you, Mr. Batchily, to tell us the balance, number one. Number two, there was no survey, correct?
Yes.
There was no survey, market survey to know the price of this bin. Do you know the market price for this bin?
No, I didn't know.
So why would you pay $10,000 for one bin when you don't know the market price for the bin?
I did not know the market price.
So why would you pay that amount?
Like I say, it was all part of the fact that he's already started doing it.
So you don't know the amount, but you still paid?
Yeah, at that juncture, I was not in a position, like to bargain too much.
Do you know the amount at any point in time after paying?
No, I did not find out, no.
You didn't find out. So you committed $600,000, got 17 bins instead of 60?
Yes.
At the price of $10,000 each?
Yes.
And it was okay? Because it is a deputy mayor that is involved.
Not that it was okay because he was involved, but if at all it came to our knowledge when they did not start manufacturing them, then that could have been another different
problem. You know what is highlighted in the report? That this involves invoice padding and overbilling fraud schemes as well. Do you agree with that? That is a fraud scheme?
Well, I respect what they think.
What do you think?
Because afterwards, I approached the contractor and asked.
Right.
But what the contractor was telling me
right.
was that he supplied all of them.
Or only 60?
Only 60.
He doesn't have to tell you that.
But I told him that that's not what my colleagues are telling me on the ground.
He does not have to tell you that.
On the ground, they said you supplied only 17 instead of the 60.
Who told you?
Him, the contractor himself, and he was insisting.
Who told you that only 17 were supplied?
The director of planning told me, and myself, because I went to inspect them together with director of planning when they came to the council.
So what did you do afterwards?
Then I approached him.
And then what did you do?
And I asked him that, we're expecting these wheelie bins, but we're just seeing 17 out of the 60.
Now what did you do after?
So now he was insisting that, he has supplied only 17, and in fact with a delivery note. But I told him, but nobody...
How did you pay $600,000 in full amount without verification? No contract document, no market survey, no procurement process. Did he raise a request for the payment of $6,000?
Yeah, a request was raised.
The contractor sent a request?
Oh, yeah, he raised a request.
Without attaching evidence of delivery note?
But he was insisting that he bought the delivery note, not to my office.
So, Mr. Batchily, if I come and insist to you that I had supplied 10 laptops, you should pay me $500,000, you will pay if I insist?
No, not really.
Why won't you pay?
No, because the thing is...
But I'm insisting.
Yeah, when things of goods of that nature, when they normally come to the council, they are verified.
They are not verified.
They should be verified normally. That's not by me, but they verify.
No, it's the CEO. Everything done by any other person to verify anything is done by the CEO. There should be a verification committee in the words of the Procurement Act or Regulation, a receipt and acceptance committee.
Yes. But
They
then
don't just verify that you supply. They verify that what is contracted is what is supplied.
Supplied, yes.
That's very important.
Yes.
You understand that? The specifications therein are in line with what is delivered. And so they accept the delivery note.
Yeah.
And they accept the goods that are being delivered.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
And then you are obliged to pay
Yes.
the full amount.
Yes.
Why did you not do that as Chief Executive Officer?
I should have done that though. I did not do it, but
Why?
I should have done
Because
that.
it involved the Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, because the thing is,
Who
when
was the finance director at this time?
I think it was Modo Kamara.
Mamadou Kamara.
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
This was in 2021.
Yes. It was.
You would have sacked Mamadou Kamara by this time. Is that not the case?
I would have.
September 2021, you would have relieved Mamadou Kamara from his financial duties as finance director for the project and replaced him with Cham?
No, it's with Modo Kamara, not with Cham.
Are you sure about that, Mr.?
Yes.
Okay. So the two of you did this together and paid without evidence. Did you guys eat the money?
I did not eat any money.
So who ate the money? Who benefited from this? Is it the
You mean you ask who paid the money?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the two of
The
us.
balance.
By virtue of...
The balance. That's what I'm asking.
No, I did not eat any money from the balance.
The balance. So if you have 17,
And I had suggested, that's when I was away, I had suggested to council that, he should be pursued to, so that the balance of the wheel, the bins should be...
17,000 by 10, of course, it's 170. If you subtract that from 600,000,
Yes,
that's $430,000.
exactly.
We are not talking about the fact that, in fact, these bins could have cost way more than what is stated in the invoice. All right?
Yeah,
That's what we're even calculating. You're going by your overpricing because certainly it is overpriced. Certainly it's way overpriced. And you can't even do any procurement without a market survey in the first place. You can't tell me you buy water for $500 in a shop. Doesn't make sense, right? But $430,000 is unaccounted for, going by the overpriced invoice in itself. Mr. Batchily.
Yes.
All this have to be recovered. You know, as CEO, sadly, the law requires that you must be the custodian of the accounts and the finance director, correct?
Yep.
And so if these things happen, the two of you should be responsible. That's the issue. And the money must be recovered. Mr. Batchily. That is the unfortunate part of it. So if you have any new or additional information to help the Commission in deciding or in locating or figuring out where the remaining bins are, it's okay. If not,
Yeah, like I told you, the council, I personally, I called for the contractor to come to the office.
yes.
So I made it known to him that, we're still waiting for the balance of Willie beans to come. But then he started telling me that, like he had delivered it. So I told him, but to where? Because nobody seems to be having the knowledge of the balance that you are
Yes.
supposed to bring in.
Yes.
So in a nutshell, in a way, council should pursue to get the balance of the remaining Willie beans.
Let me just refer Mr. Batchily to the Finance and Audit Act of 2004. Section 32 of the Finance and Audit Act, which talks about, because this is the amount lead counsel is asking you, is an amount which have been unduly paid. And the auditors have certified that this amount must be repaid. And this is in accordance with the Local Government Finance and Audit Act of 2004, Section 32. Let me just read what Section 32 says. It says, every sum certified by the Auditor General to be due from any person shall be paid by that person to the treasurer of the council concerned. And in fact, time limits are also given in this same act. That is, you are given up to 30 days to provide evidence, to either verify or admit. And after that, you have to pay these amounts. And you are aware that this is what the law is saying. And for all the audited accounts over the period, you've not acted within what the Finance and Audit Act has provided for. Why? And these amounts of monies are in the millions. Why?
It shouldn't have been that way, ma'am.
Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Mr. Batchily, we have the fencing of the Mile 2 dump site. You recall this?
Yes.
Where you contracted Mbenga Design and Build
Yeah.
to come up with a bill of quantity. Was this tendered? No. Or you want to find out?
I'll find out.
You paid Mbenga Design and Build $100,000. This is in September 2022.
I'll find out because it went through the GPPA process.
It what?
It went through the GPPA process.
That is just to prepare a bill of quantity.
Yes.
To be honest, you guys are not serious, Mr. Batchily. It appeared to be an environment wherein everybody was feasting with 3 million euros that was available. Let's see how we can do what we can do for the people of Banjul, and each of us can just get what we have or what we can get, and we walk away. That was the environment. So $100,000 was paid, and you paid $52,500 to Director of Planning and Development, Katim Ture. Why? For what?
Yeah, he apparently had an input after the initial preparation, I think by the supplier.
By Mega Design and Build.
Yeah.
They prepared the bill of quantity.
Yes.
And then Katim had an input.
Yes.
What kind of input?
I think some variations. He made some variations.
He did some variations.
Yeah. From the
and he was
original,
paid $52,500 for it.
original one. Yes.
Why did Katim not prepare the bill of quantity? Is that not his role as Director of Planning and Development? Then you rule out the contract.
Yeah, but then in that case, it wouldn't have been feasible because he's a member of the institution.
But what do you mean? That's his role. The contract you are issuing out will come up with technical specifications. Council must find a way to get these things done and then start to rule out the specifications that they want for the contractor.
Yeah, because for him, what was his main line of duty?
Silla, how does that work, Commissioner Silla?
Council, you are right. Because it is the client who initiates and puts up the design for it to be rolled out, to be tendered. But if it is given out to a private consultant, the consultant, it must go through tender. But the initiation must have come from the client, and then the client has no right to be paid because he's a staff, he's paid on monthly salary. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Batchily, you knew this before?
Not as explicitly clear as
Of course, Mr. Batchily.
senior technical
Of course, you go to the Act, it tells you the role of the Director of Planning, Mr. Batchily. You go to the Act, Procurement Act and Regulation, it tells you that the specifications and design are sent to the contractor. That's why you have a Director of Planning and Development, Mr. Batchily. Is that not the case?
Yep.
So you gave out $100,000 to Mbenga Design and Build. Number one, we want to know the process that was followed. Are you in a position to tell us?
I'll make reference to the process and come back with it.
Good. Get that down. You see, it says the Development Committee, of course, the Director of Planning and Development, will coordinate plans and programs for the development in its area, promote economic, social, and spatial and human settlement policies, harmonizing development policies of its area, integrating and coordinating the process of planning, programming, and implementation. Now, this list goes on. Mr. Batchily, you paid Mr. Katim an amount that he was employed to do, for work that he was employed to do. Who decided this? Is it you?
It was decided in collaboration with Jonas.
No. Look, we are not here to ask Jonas questions. Jonas is not the employee of council. Jonas is not the person responsible for the administration of the finances. If Jonas makes a mistake and doesn't understand the laws of the Gambia, you tell him it is not applicable. But you guys use either the ignorance or the corruption, the corrupt practice of some of these people to your own advantage. In some cases, some of them they may not know, and some of them are as corrupt as the people who are perpetuating the corruption.
Yeah, but in this case, we had discussed.
No, Jonas approved. Jonas approved. That's what you guys do to flout the rules. Jonas does not have a responsibility, or the responsibility that you have as CEO,
Okay.
or the responsibility that the finance director has. That is why you are the chief custodian of the accounts.
Okay, but late counsel, would
Yes.
it be of interest for you to know that with this particular project that we are talking about, it went to a stage where every particular expenditure
Yes.
that was supposed to have been made
Right.
by the project,
Right.
we had to talk to
Absolutely.
the partners over there
You have to do that because it's a counterpart funding.
in Austin.
Yes, but the project clearly states as well that you must follow procurement procedure.
Yes.
So even if Jonas wants to adopt a procedure that is not correct, it's for you to say no, but we have laws here. The act we don't allow us to do this. That is why you are CEO. That's why you are paid the allowance every month, $12,000 at some point, 7,500 in the beginning, and given every sitting allowance and the rest. You as CEO have the ultimate say to say, we cannot adopt this procedure because it's against the procurement regulations. And for all the documents we see from the Austin, it requires that the procurement be done in accordance with procurement process. Right?
Yes.
Yes. And you are the expert as the chief executive officer to make sure everything that is done in accordance with law. You refuse to do that, Mr. Batchily, together with the steering committee members. And so Mr. Katim should refund this money. That's what we think as lawyers. You understand that?
Yeah.
Benga Design and Build, the money was unlawfully paid to them, Mr. Batchily. You know what is the more interesting is that you gave this contract to Top Sport Properties for the fencing, correct?
Yes.
Was it rolled out in a bid?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they came up, but the contract you had with them, they had to come up with their own bill of quantity, correct?
Yes.
And that's the one you used, correct?
Yes.
So why were you paying $152,500 for something that is irrelevant, not needed? Now tell us.
Yes, I'll be very willing to say something, but then, like I say, with this one too, I think there are some clarifications that I could gather.
That you want to gather?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, you want to gather. All right, Mr. Batchily.
See, when that happens, then you are left at the mercy of the contractor. Because the contractor is there for the execution of works. When you sit down and tell the contractor, give me bill of quantities, there are no checks and balances. You are left at his mercy. Whether he overcharges you or undercharges you, that's not the way it works. The contractor must give you a price based on what is coming from you as client and the consultant. But if you ask the contractor, okay, now give me your own bill of quantities, he will kill you. You are at his mercy. So that's not good enough.
I think if can I answer, Ma? Okay, I think like you said, Commissioner, I think that's where the law of Katim came into play. He was supposed to have developed the basis of a bill of quantities. I think if I'm right, I think that was the basis in which like he came into play. But then, as part of my verifications, I will also make sure that I find out.
Mr. Batchily, you gave Katim today an amount of $895,305.35 brutes for the fencing of the abattoir. You recall this? By way of imprest. Do you recall this?
Can I kindly have the...
All right, let me show you. I will show you a letter written by Katim Ture to the Director of Finance. A cash deposit transaction of $800,000. The order we have a refund of 895,000, letter written by the Lord Mayor Roy Malik Low, addressed to the Director of Finance. Yes, you
I recall this.
recall this.
Yeah, this was an imprest he applied for. That's the dump site at behind the Alban Market.
Yes.
Yeah, but these funds were refunded back to council.
No. You gave an imprest of this much, this amount,
Yes.
right?
Yes, we gave an imprest of that
Why?
amount. That's his side of the story was that to avoid because when we were doing the abattoir, we did it like an in-house project. We did not tender it.
Yes.
So as at that point, like he was of the idea that to mitigate the possible effects of price increments,
Yes.
maybe we should withdraw an amount and go and get materials.
Mr. Batchily, how can you give an imprest of 895,350, that $385 to Katib?
Yeah,
On what basis?
Yeah, I explained the basis on which it was given to him.
Was this retired when it was given?
He returned it back. He didn't even spend it.
How do we know that?
Yeah, because there's evidence that he returned it back.
But how do we know that you didn't get money from somewhere else, from another account, and then withdraw it without accounting for it properly and pay this money?
No, because there's evidence to that effect.
Where is the evidence?
Certainly, there's evidence to that effect.
Where is the evidence?
I'll bring it to the commission.
All right.
Mr. Batchily, in as much as you said it has been retired,
Yes.
do you know that the act is illegal?
No, it's not. Sorry, ma. It's not retired, but returned.
Huh?
He did not spend it. It was returned.
But do you know that the act is in fact illegal based on the Local Government Finance and Audit Act?
Right.
What you did was against the law. Let me read you section 18, procurement. It says, and it's mandatory, all procurement by a local government authority shall be carried out, shall, and I emphasize the word, shall be carried out in accordance with the Gambia Public Procurement Act 2001 and the monetary thresholds and regulations prescribed by and under that act. So whether it is returned, no returned, you have violated what the law said, because it's mandatory that all procurement is making no exception. So it's totally against the law. And you know it is in the Finance and Audit Act.
We accept, ma.
Very clear, section 18.
We accept.
Council, you may proceed.
Mr. Batchily, you also authorized or approved imprest at an amount of $328,394 for various people. Hannah Barry, Mohamed Cham, that's the finance manager. And several of various dates. Do you have, what is the process for approving imprest or authorizing imprest?
Well, normally request is made
Right?
for an expenditure,
Yes.
and then it's brought over to us,
Right.
and then we approve it, and then the payment is effected.
Was that done?
In which instance?
The
For the honorariums?
No, the imprest was given to Anna Barry for office petty cash, $10,000 is Anna Barry, for imprest for the cost of allowances, airtime, transport and feeding, Anna Berry, being impressed payment for purchase of refreshments for training. Mama Cham, disbursement as replacement of petty cash impressed for minor payment. Mama Cham, replacement of interest. Mama Cham again, disbursement as replacement of petty cash interest. And just these two individuals, you will see an Adam Fai, disbursement as interest allocated while on official trip to, it didn't say where, $15,000 is. So to Dakar. None of these were ever retired. Did they send you application for impress?
Pardon?
Do they normally send you an application for impress?
Well, we call it request. They make a request.
You call it request?
Request, yeah.
A request and an application in this sense would probably one and the same.
Yeah.
Do you have an impress ledger?
No, we don't have any.
Why?
It was not kept.
So you don't record this anywhere?
It wasn't kept.
You just issue it? You just grant the application?
Yeah, it was not
and
kept.
You don't record the detail?
It wasn't kept.
And they don't retire?
Well, in this case, I'm not too sure whether they are retired.
They don't retire.
Unless
the retirement must be recorded in
out.
the impress ledger. Everything must be documented. They do not retire. Mr. Batchily would not know at any point in time how the money was spent, because you don't have a record for that.
Yeah, except the fact that, the recordings were not made. But then it's possible that they have retired it.
Not possibility, Mr. Batchily. Let's go by facts. If you have the fact that you provided, if retirement was done, you tell us it has been retired.
Can I kindly know the date that was involved in that?
Mr. Batchily, we can give you the various, if you want, we can have it typed and give you the various payment.
Please. Right. I appreciate that.
Mr. Batchily, you have also your partners, the Austin people, there were expenses that were made, correct?
Pardon?
Your partners, that is the Austin project.
Yeah.
There were various expenses made, right?
Yes.
Like flight tickets.
Yeah.
Audit fees to Ernest and Young. Salaries to Jonas and Peter. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Why this in line with the budget?
Was it in line with the budget?
Yes. You're paying flight tickets for the amount altogether $44,000, $44,207, 85.85 euros. Sorry. Our audit fees to Ernst and Young, 17,545 euros. Salaries to Jonas and Peter amounting to 299. It appeared as if it is 299,982.85 euros.
I think it also involved the musical instruments and also
what?
The musical instruments.
Musical.
The musical instruments.
Well, it's not stated here.
At the recording studio and also the radio station.
But this is not stated here.
Well, I guess all of
Why were you buying tickets for Jonas and Peter?
No, they were buying the tickets from Belgium coming to Gambia.
But you were funding part of it from the project fund.
Yes.
Yes, so but why was that?
We never purchased any ticket locally.
Why was that? See, this money is not the money.
All the tickets were
This money is not Peter's money or Jonas' money. It's council's funds. They may facilitate it. They may take part in facilitating $3 million. It's not theirs. That's the issue. It's not theirs.
Okay. See, lead counsel, in this instance too, yes. I think I also have to come up with some more tangible explanations.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll note it down, and I'll also make sure I do that.
Because
so that we have a better understanding. Because in the audit report, it was termed as misappropriated funds.
These are?
It was termed as misappropriated
Yes,
funds.
yes, yes.
If I'm right.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then
Altogether, 519,545.55 euros.
yes, I recall very well when we were at the FPAC.
Yes.
We gave a detailed explanation
Right.
about. So I want to avail the commission the same opportunity to have that similar
The
information.
total is 40 million plus.
$40 million here. I think 40,
Yes.
42 also.
Yes, about 41 million dollars.
Yeah, I'll certainly provide the commission with information on this.
When do you think you can come and give us explanation? That was why I was saying to you all along that you guys will just see, try to get approval from these people, the Austin people, and then you will approve everything that they want. And when you mismanage or ill-advise yourselves from respect to the procurement processes, they also approve it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You gave us allowances, unlawful contracts, unlawful expenditure, and nobody checks, no one. Who says they cannot be corrupt as well? You think they cannot be corrupt?
It's possible.
Do you think at the time there's a high chance that they may also mismanage funds?
No, personally, I did not.
It didn't come into your mind?
No.
Why?
It just did not occur.
Because
to
they're
me.
from Belgium?
Not really.
Of course.
No, not really.
But that's true.
No, I disagree with
It's
that.
a mentality problem, Mr. Batchily.
No, I've lived in those societies for long,
It's
so
not about living in society, it's about what you think here.
I don't have those
No,
complexes.
but you flouted the rules. That's why I said to you earlier or throughout that Peter or Jonas, they are not your boss when it comes to the funds of council.
Lead council, the reason
The check and balance that you may have with them should be geared towards ensuring that there is transparency. But where they even suggest or want to approve any application for any funding that is not in line with our regulations and our laws, you tell them that cannot happen.
I definitely am not against what you are
Yes,
saying.
but you didn't do that.
Fine, it wasn't done. But what I'm saying is about this $40 million, like
Right,
what
right.
we explained to the FPAC. Unfortunately, that particular day I was late, but then I found out that valuable information was given for them to have a better understanding.
Yes.
So I want to avail the same.
Mr. Batchily, you explained that valuable information
Yes.
to FPAC. You can still explain it. You are sitting here, you understand? If it is documents you presented, you can present copies. If it is explanation that you explained, which made them understand that you needed to have spent the money and you have spent 40 million on them, you can do so now.
Yeah,
Why
but
do we have to give you extra time to come and do that?
Yeah, but remember, at least we're a group. So
What?
we were a group when we went.
You are a group.
We were a group when we went to FPAC.
But you are the head of the group.
Yeah, I'm the head of the group, ma. But still, like it's everything.
But you can explain your own bit as to the justification of this.
My problem is I do not want to give any explanation, which is not 100% accurate.
Okay.
That's what I'm avoiding.
Okay. So please bring us the financial and the technical proposal where these expenses
Sure.
were drawn from.
Yeah.
Which budget heads or budget lines
It's certainly
they were drawn
it's
from.
available.
And whether they are direct or indirect.
Yeah, it's
Budget
available.
lines.
They're all available.
Yes. Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Yes. Lastly, I just want to show you some of the expenditures we are referring to. For instance, on the 27th of October 2020, Fundación Punto, I'm not sure I'm not pronouncing the names right, as the name of the individual, the training, mastering financial management of Europe 8 grants was paid 1,100 euros. You have flight tickets for Victorina, Petens, and Peter, France Lambrook, 1,222 euros. Flight tickets to Jonas, for Jonas And Peter, 1,974. Transport, 600 first aid manuals, 920. Salary from January 28th to December 28th, 16,815. How much were you paying Peter?
I don't recall exactly.
How much were you paying Jonas?
Same.
They're paying in euros?
Yeah, they were paying in euros. I think they were paying in euros.
Okay. We want you to tell us, when you come back, how much you are paying these people. Right? So we have various, come again, please, various flight tickets.
Payment in euros, huh?
Yes. How much you are paying them every month? So you have Jonas as well, the project coordinator.
Yeah.
From January to 2021 to December 2021 was paid 67,936.31 euros. Like really? Just let me see whether I can do the math, Mr. So if we have 67,936.31 divided by 12, you're paying them about 5,000 euros or 6,000 euros.
Okay.
Correct?
But then I still want to make a clarification on that.
So if you pay them 6,000 euros per month, it's one person.
Yeah.
Or to be fair, 5.5. Mr. Batchily, you are paying something like more than $400,000 a month.
For the two of them?
For one person. For one person. It says, Jonas, the project coordinator. Salary from January to December 2021. That's what it says here. Or maybe I give it to you, you can confirm. You can please guide us through this very well. Where you have the 100% payment.
That's page 148 also.
How much?
Page 148.
Yes. What I said. So we'll have to go by the rate in 2021.
That's
About 60.
16,
Yes.
382, 16,382.
16,000
382.68.
is what?
That's for Peter. His salary from January to December 2021.
From January to?
December 2021.
No, is that for Peter?
That's for Peter, yes. And then the Jonas, this one is
Please speak into the microphone.
67,936.31.
67
67
is the what?
936.31.
Is the what? What is that?
Same thing. It says salary from from January 2021 to
Yes.
December 2021.
Right. And where you have the 60,000?
67 or 60?
67?
Yeah, 67.
For one person or two?
That is for Jonas.
For Jonas?
Yes.
From
the salary from January 2021 to December
yes,
2021.
and that will be how many euros a month?
Divided by 12?
Yes. And by the way, the euro in 2021 was, let's say, $60.9. But go ahead, by 12.
If we divide it by 12 months, we get 5,661.36 euros.
You multiply that by 60.9.
$6.9, you mean?
60.9.
60 or 6.60?
The euro would have been on average 60 in 2021.
That would be 344,776.
A month.
77, if you round it up to the nearest figure.
A month.
So, yeah, 377,777.
That was what you were paying. Is it Jonas or Peter? Jonas.
That's Jonas.
A month.
A month, yeah.
And in 1 year, and yearly, you'll be paying him like more than $4 million.
Yes.
What are you guys thinking? You think he will be paid this amount? Do you think that is the average salary in Belgium?
I will not say so.
Come again?
I don't think so.
Anybody earning 5,000 euros in Belgium is earning a lot of money. It's substantially enough. And this is not a salary, this is an allowance, correct? An allowance.
But they're quoting here salary.
No, it doesn't matter, mister. They aren't employed by the project. Were they employed? You guys are partners. The idea is to maximize the use of the money that you guys have, not to pay yourselves handsomely at the expense of the people. The idea is not for anyone to enrich yourself no matter where you come from. The entire project concept was to do what? What was the project concept? What was the project concept? And may I please have the document? What is the BCC Austin project concept?
Yeah, the concept was to develop
Banjul.
Banjul.
Substantially develop Banjul.
Yes.
Not just to develop Banjul, to substantially develop Banjul. But at least you have 3 million euros and more. But if you're paying yourselves handsomely, you're paying Jonas more than $300,000 a month. Who decided this payment?
I think we need to first of all look at the functional relationship we had with them as the lead applicant.
The what?
So we should look at the functional relationship we had with them as the lead applicant.
So applicant.
They were the lead applicant.
What is lead applicant?
To the EU.
So what does that mean? What does it have to do? What is the relevance to that? To what we are doing?
Without them, we wouldn't have been able to access this project.
Who cares?
No, I'm just explaining to you.
I'm just telling you, you should not think like that, Mr. Batchily. It's sad. Who cares about that? So just because they were in the forefront trying to secure funds for the people of Banjul, they can use the name of the people and pay themselves handsomely and walk away free, and you have no problem with that, all of you people, because you are equally benefiting in other ways smoothly.
As I was saying earlier on, with regards to these areas of concern of the audit report, I would have loved to really give all the answers that were expecting from me.
Mr. Batchily, who decided that they should pay Jonas more than $300,000 a month?
It came from them in Belgium.
It came from them?
Yes.
And you approved it? And you agree with it?
The council, they were the leading applicant, like I said.
Mr. Batchily, who do we employ in our public offices? See,
it's
when you go home, we have to think about this. Who do we employ in our public offices? That's why I said to you, it's a mentality problem as well. Why would you pay yourself $12,000 and pay Jonas $300 plus? Tell me why.
Yeah, that's the very reason why I'm saying that, with this.
Why do you think Jonas deserves $300 plus and you deserve $12,000? Tell me.
No, I'm not.
Do you think that is normal?
Personally, if you ask me, I'll say no.
Why? Why is it not normal?
Yeah, because the scope of remuneration.
It doesn't make sense.
The scope of remuneration is an issue.
But it doesn't make sense. Too much of complex going on, and then we use that to aid corruption, Mr. Batchily. Too much of it going on. It's not even imaginable. You can't even imagine that.
Yeah, but I'm still appealing that some of these pertinent questions about the project.
No. The chair had given you latitude for that.
Yes,
we are saying how you were distributing the funds of council. This is meant. If you look at the aim of the Banjul Austin EU project, it says to work on good governance, establish the creation of a sustainable development center in Crab Island, a more effective and environmental friendly city. You don't have that. And waste management, you don't have that. Sustainable green in the city, by utilizing local resources, you don't have that. Making healthcare and hygiene practices more accessible and exploiting the potential of medical plants. You don't have that. You have projects that you guys have started. Everything is at the beginning stage, and money is wasted left, right, center, and people are paid handsomely, Mr. Batchily. And you think for once as CEO, you and your mayor and your finance director and your council, everybody was okay with this. No, $300,000 is paid to somebody who is from Belgium, and so it's okay. And then you will also perpetuate your fraudulent activities, the area council itself, whoever is involved in anything. And Mr. Batchily, nobody really, everybody goes home and sleep. And people ask you how you guys do this.
Lead Council, I want to clarify what you mean by what you just explained.
And what is that?
About when you were mentioning the thematic areas and saying that nothing happened.
Right.
Can you please be a bit explicitly clear on that?
About what?
You were talking about the thematic areas.
Right.
And then you are insinuating that nothing was right. Is that what you meant?
Mr. Batchily,
Mr. Batchily, he did not insinuate. Sorry to interrupt, Lead Council.
Yes, no problem.
Lead Council did not insinuate. Lead Council is putting to you facts contained in an audited report and giving you numbers. So he's not insinuating anything. He's telling you. So it is your responsibility to clarify and where possible to give us evidence to the contrary. All right?
Thank you.
Did you get that?
Yeah, now, that's what I wanted to know from him. That's why I thought that I mentioned.
But when they said the project is supposed to help you make sure that you have good governance.
Yes.
Did you implement any component in the area of good governance?
Yes.
In terms of BCC activities?
Yes.
What is the example?
First of all, we hired a consultant to come and give us a human resource manual.
Yes.
I think the consultant was even invited here.
When you have testified before this commission
Yes.
that BCC is overstaffed,
Yes.
did you not testify here?
Yes, yes, yes.
And is still overstaffed?
Yes.
And what have you done with that?
Those are one of the things that, brought in the consultant.
Sorry?
Those are one of the reasons that, one of the areas that the consultant highlighted.
On staff appointments, you have admitted here that you did not follow process and procedure in appointing some of these people. E.g., for example, Mam Lai. The council just appointed without following due process. Is that part of the good governance? Is that what you were told in the policy, the consultant's policy that you did?
No, ma, if you allow me,
No, I'm just putting things to you.
No, I don't.
Because you said on good governance, you said you have done something. So now I'm putting it to you, bringing forward facts that contradict what you have said.
The consultant's role was to look at BCC from a holistic point of view.
Yes.
And give us recommendations.
When did the consultant submit his report?
I cannot recall straight away now. But
Have you implemented the recommendations made by that consultant?
No, then I had left.
Huh?
I had left for postings.
So now would you say that there were changes as a result of the work of the consultant?
What I'm trying to do right now.
You just said now that nothing was done. You were moved. Yes. So I'm asking you a direct question. Was anything implemented pursuant to the consultant's work?
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to explain to the commission.
Yes.
That I am saying that the areas that have been dealt with, that's what I'm saying here. What has been done in some of these thematic areas. We started first with governance. I explained that one of the first things...
Maybe we are not understanding ourselves, but let me hand you over to the lead counsel. Counsel, you may proceed.
Mr. Batchily, see, the issue is to conclude on the Ostend project. Of course, still waiting for the clarifications that you have appealed to the commission to give you time.
Yeah.
To see whether you can clarify, is that when you are not doing or following procedure, you are appointing consultants in a very irregular manner, suspicious manner, fraudulent manner, you don't get results. You understand that? You don't get results. We have seen even the health officer, official that you have contracted for the aloe vera. We see the problems. Procurement is done without following due process. Even the report is not finalized. God knows when. Even the report is not finalized. Do you understand what we are trying to say?
Yeah.
You don't make headway. There is no breaking point in relation to the research for the aloe vera. You haven't. What follows after the consultation with the consultant? Would you not want to implement the research?
Sure.
Is that done?
I would not know whether that was done.
No. Nobody is interested.
Because I'm not there anymore.
That is the issue. So how employing or hiring a consultant is not in itself a success. It's not in itself a success. Do you get it? Getting somebody to train people in any area is not in itself a success. There has to be an end game. That is just the means to the end. The end should be to have that the reason for hiring the consultant to be achieved.
Okay,
if it is for the training of trainers, those people will be well equipped, and there will be implementation plan for the people, those people trained to further train others.
Okay, for me, that's what I was trying to talk about. I was talking about the means. especially in these 5 thematic areas. That's the
That's
reason why I was...
The end that is important.
Well,
What have you achieved? It's not we try to do this. You try to get a consultant through the back door. You try to get a contractor through the back door. You bought Willie Beans 5 times, 3 times, 4 times the price. You don't even get it through a tender process. So you end up spending, for instance, $10 million in a contract that you're only supposed to spend $1 million. And you want to tell me that's success? That is failure. You and I will agree to that. That is failure. Where you paid more than you are supposed to pay is failure, because the outstanding balance could be made or put into a good use somewhere else.
I don't deny that, but like as I was saying, within these thematic areas, I just thought that it was very important to highlight some things that have been done.
No, we are saying, Mr. Batchily, you can
We're
always
not talking
highlight...
about the end results yet.
Yeah.
Because this project just phased out, just about some few months ago?
You go to Banjul, the people of Banjul can barely tell you that there is any significant change, especially in relation to the beautiful wordings in the concept note. If I walk in Banjul now, I can't see any visible change. That's a fact. So if there is a massive project like this, people need to see change.
Yeah, but however little, there has been some...
Too much of corruption, that's what we are saying.
Change.
Mr. Batchily, a lot of corruption has happened, and therefore where there is corruption, there is no success. You can't claim any form of success where there is massive corruption. And the EU Ostend project is full of corrupt practices, fraudulent scheme. You understand that? Maladministration, total disregard to very obvious regulations. That is the procurement regulations. Very obvious regulations. Total disregard. So nobody can say that's a success. That's a failure. We should learn from it. We should learn from the Ostend project and do things better. Is that not the case?
Okay.
Chair, I believe, no, Mr. Batchily, if you have something to say, you can say it. Chair, I believe that will be all for Mr. Batchily from this end.
Yeah, but Lead Council,
yes.
Can I still be allowed to say something?
Of course.
Okay. I heard very well how you analyzed everything with regards to the EU project. But like I was insisting, saying that if you look at the 5 thematic areas of the project, I am not saying that it was devoid of all the areas that you talked about, but certainly there has been some little bit of changes that were realized, however little they could be deemed as. Because like I started with this governance. Okay, we recognize that there are some shortfalls administratively within the council, like Madam Chair said, especially with regards to the number of people that were employed. So as a management ourselves, we realize that these are things that we need to solve, because it's even at that time affecting the 60-40 ratio that councils should adhere to. Because the more you employ people above the required number, it will certainly affect your wage bill. And the wage bill is like a recurrent cost. So these are all reasons why we thought that by bringing a consultant to holistically look at the council structures, the staffing levels, vis-a-vis the responsibilities, would now be in a better position. So,
Mr. Batchily, having spent so long a time at the council, do you honestly and sincerely believe that you needed a consultant to restructure BCC and to avoid the fraudulent wastage of funds in paying staffs that are not productive? You think you needed a consultant? You answer me honestly and sincerely.
no, honestly, I'll give you an honest answer. Because the thing is, for example, if it, I'm not trying to...
No, I am asking, no, answer the question. Answer the question. Do you think, I have asked you a direct question. Do you think you sincerely and honestly believe you needed a consultant to help you do that?
Yes.
After all these years of experience
Yes, but if you
in BCC.
if you ask me in which sense, I'll also be willing
No,
to
what
tell
is
you.
your answer first? Give me your answer first.
Yes, I agree with what you said. Maybe we do not
Agree
need.
with what?
Maybe we do not need a consultant.
You don't need a consultant.
To effect those changes.
You,
Maybe.
you agree with me that you did not need a consultant, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Then you can explain.
Okay, but now, for example, if it is orchestrated by the management, for example, if the management...
Who is management?
Like myself and the directors and the managers. If we sit and, for example, try to do an exercise in terms of looking at the responsibilities versus making things efficient, perhaps we don't need a consultant. But experience teaches me that if, for example, let's say as a management, I just give an example, as a management, we sit down and we decide that, okay, maybe cleansing service, we do not need 30 people, maybe admin, we do not need 40 people, more than 40 people. We compile the report as a management and submit it to council.
Mr. Batchily, let's not belabor this issue. You are fully aware that what you have just said and what you are trying to explain is not tenable, Mr. Batchily. To now begin to explain to us, for us to understand or accept the fact that if you sit as a management, you can't take the decision.
No, that's not.
Is that what?
That's not what I meant. That's what I need. If you listen to me, you understand what I mean here. What I'm saying here is, if you had compiled like a report in terms of the number of employees you need versus their efficiency levels, if as a management we compile that report and send it to council, there is 100% chance that it will not be honored. That's what my experience taught me. It will never be honored.
Is that an objective opinion or a subjective opinion?
I'm saying it's an objective opinion.
It's an objective opinion?
Yes.
From your perspective?
Yes, it will not be honored by the council.
No, from your perspective, it's an objective opinion. So it comes back to the fact that it is a subjective opinion. Is that correct?
Well, what I'm just trying to say here is, I'm going back to your initial question that I agreed to, that perhaps we do not need a consultant to be able to tell us the optimal amount of positions we needed in the council.
The councillors are elected councillors.
Yes.
They found you in council.
Yes.
There is a management in council.
Yes.
And you mean to tell me when you do your assessments and you provide the financial backup in terms of analysis,
yeah,
and you provide the performance appraisal of the staff, you mean to tell me you go to council, sit and provide them with clarity on your staff listing? You think they will not accept that? Is that what you are telling the commission?
Yes.
They will not accept?
They will not accept.
Based on what?
Based on having a personal relationship with some members of the senior staff or junior staff. And I'm still going to maintain what I'm saying.
So...
But if it comes from a consultant, then that will become a different ball game. And I'm insisting on what I'm saying.
I am baffled as to the fact that as a seasoned CEO, you could be telling us this at this point.
I'm telling you the truth. Because even myself, it happened to myself. Certain recommendations I made to council, it will not be seen as if it's coming.
So, example?
It's coming from, like...
Example.
As at this juncture, maybe I will not be able to state a point that in this area, on this area, but I know very well that I'm talking to you and I took oath.
Okay. Council, you may proceed.
Madam Chair, that's all for the witness for today.
Yes,
We will wait
okay,
for the
let me-
witness tomorrow to bring some of the documents.
Yes. Now,
We can proceed.
let me just ask you a few things. Now, based on what I have listened and what you have said, on the issue of governance and the administrative structure in BCC, would you say that the establishment, that is the BCC, existed under a good governance structure?
You mean the structures of the council,
Yes.
whether it's in line with
What
good
I'm
governance?
saying is that the governance and administrative structure
Yes.
that you have in council,
Yeah.
were they good? In other words, to simplify,
Were they?
was it good? The governance structures.
Sorry,
you
I
have.
don't know what you mean by whether they are grouped.
What is your governance structure? Your governance
Yes.
structure at BCC, what is it?
Yeah,
What does it consist of?
we have the decision-making body, that's the council,
Yes,
composed of the mayor and councillors.
yes.
And also we have the administrative side.
Yes, you have given me examples, so you know the governance structure.
Yes.
Did they live up to expectation? Were they delivering on what they were supposed to do?
I would say not absolutely. There are some shortfalls.
Now, on the financial aspects, the financial management and accountability, do you agree that the council did not perform at all when it comes to financial management and accountability, given the record that we have and the facts that are before us?
Yes, I would agree.
Okay. Now, on the,
I don't know if you want me to
let me-
expand.
No, no. You have. Thank you for the answer. On the council's project and partnerships, you will also agree that you performed woefully in managing council projects and partnerships.
Yes.
Thank you. On the issue of not complying with procurement and GPPA regulations, you will agree with me that the council performed very badly.
Yes.
On the finance and audit, you also agree with me that you totally failed to comply with the protocols in Finance and Audit Act.
Yes.
Yes, Council.
Shall we adjourn with the witness for today?
Yes. All right. We will rise.